Morning all. It's wet, drizzly, not playing Vans today, so I thought I'd do a quick update on my plans for a composting toilet in the crafter. As you know, if you've watched Project Was, I've got a DIY composting toilet in there. It works fine and we're very, very happy with it. But it does take up a bit of space in the shower room, and in the crafter, if I can make the shower room smaller, then I might be able to squeeze in a pull-out larder unit like the one I have in Was, and I'll stick a picture of that in now so you know what I'm on about. When I first started planning the shower room in the crafter, Thistle, I based it around the idea of reusing one of these Thetford cassette based toilets as a composting toilet. And I also bought a shower tray to match. The shower trays are available in 670mm square width, which is the same width as this cassette toilet. This cassette toilet is quite an old model. I think they call it a C2. It came out of a narrow boat from Ellesmere Marina. When I bought it, it was in a disgusting state. And it's one of the things I don't like about cassette toilets. The design of the way the plastics reinforced and strengthened means you get crevices and things everywhere. And this thing had all sorts of muck underneath. And obviously in a narrowboat or any kind of vehicle really where you can't get a pressure washer in and clean something properly, over time it's going to build up. Anyway, cleaned the damn thing up, overhauled it, serviced it, got everything working properly, just generally played around with this. Because originally we were toying with the idea, shall we put it in? But I've become a composting toilet convert now. So I thought to myself, can I use this cassette-based toilet as a composting toilet? Now in theory, being a bloke with reasonable pee control, especially when you're sitting down, I think the answer is yes. But for Karen, no. We've come to the conclusion, having extensively used the larger composting toilet in the other van, that the bowl, the size of the bowl in one of these cassette-based toilets is simply too small. It will be difficult to create a sufficiently large urine diverter and still have an adequate size hole at the back for the solid waste to go through. These aren't massive, these things. They're not massive at all. And what I was intending to do is just literally cutting away this bowl and putting a partition in. But it is, with hindsight, we've decided it's simply too small. So, that led to the question of what next. Do I make another one? Because I'm more than happy with the one I've got in Was. Or do I buy something else? Now, the urine diverter fittings on eBay, they range from 80, 90, up to £200. I mean, these things are only a piece of pressed fiberglass. They're very expensive. You can even buy beautifully handcrafted porcelain ones from Eastern Europe, often for less money than some of the plastic and fiberglass things that are available on eBay. But you're still looking at building a surround. And one of the things I liked about this cassette toilet, if I could have put it to good use, is it's totally waterproof. You've got this nice lip round here, so that in the shower, when we're using the shower, this wouldn't have got wet. And obviously with the composting toilet, the last thing you want is water getting into the solid waste bin, because the whole thing needs to be dry. That's the whole principle behind it. So to make a container, waterproof it, even constructing with available parts, I'm probably looking at a week, maybe 2 weeks of work and a fair amount of expense. Well, purpose of this video, as per the title, is a company called Blue Diamond has recently released a portable composting toilet at a sensible price. And when I say a sensible price, I don't think £269 is cheap, to be honest. But when you look at the prices of something like the Nature's Head, which is basically a composting toilet with a stirrer in it, at £1,000, That is just stupid money for what's really just a glorified bucket. The advantage with the blue diamond unit is simply, I don't think it would have cost me less to make. That's really what it boils down to. I did in the back of my head, time and effort to actually make something, buy the materials, does this thing become more cost effective? So I will now pause and go and get it. There we are. It comes in a branded box. I half expected it to be just in a brown box from China, and but it does appear that Blue Diamond are actually a manufacturer. I know they do lots of chemicals and other related toilet products. Now, I'm not going to prat around and do an unboxing, which I think is a bit weird. Why unboxing is so popular on eBay? I have no eBay. Why unboxing is so popular on YouTube? I don't know. So I'm not going to prat around unboxing it. I'm just going to take that damn thing out of the box and talk about it. It's got nice inset handles on either side, so the thing is portable. I don't think I'm going to be mounting this permanently in the shower room. It's a really nice size. This is about 500ml deep, so you've got plenty of room. Basically, sit on it and do what you need to do, frankly. You'll notice there are clamps, 3 of them in total, 2 this side, 1 on the other side, that hold down the light grey part. It's ever so easy to dismantle. It's also, within reason, fully waterproof. You might get a little bit of water going down there. I don't know. But the idea of this for us is, when we're using the shower, especially if I make the room smaller than I currently or originally was intending, we'll take this out. And I'm going to find some way, which will come up in later videos, of how I actually mount this in the van securely so we can use it, but make it removable. There's a couple of things I'll be doing to this to modify it. One will be I'll be adding an outlet from the urine diverter, so I can have a black tack under the van, simply because that is more convenient. The other thing I will probably be doing is mounting in the back of this a fan. Same as I've got in WAS, I've got a small extractor fan in the back of the toilet, which just takes away any initial smells through the roof of the van. So I'll be doing a few modifications on this, but ultimately the idea is that whatever I do, it will be easy to disconnect, and we can either use this separately in the van if somebody's in the shower room. That's going to be unlikely. Or I can store it somewhere else in the van, which again is probably going to be unlikely. But the main thing is, I can use this in the garage. I can use this elsewhere in the house. It doesn't have to stay in the van permanently. Right, so another observation. The plastic is very static sensitive. We got this out yesterday. It's covered in dog hair already. It doesn't come with a conventional toilet seat underneath the lid. How comfortable? Let's just move the thing forward. How comfortable and pleasant that is going to be to sit on, I don't know. Time will tell. But it's a good size. This is easily as big as the separate composting toilet diverter that I've got in WAS. Potentially, I think this is actually larger. I think this is actually a bigger bowl. I haven't measured it, but it's certainly a good space. There's a couple of foam pads here. I don't actually know if they're just shipping pads or whether they're designed to do something. But I've left them on for the time being. But the entire unit is relatively heavy duty polypropylene. You'll notice, or maybe you can just about see, there's some roughness, almost like grains of sand. There's some roughness in the plastic there which will need taking off, because they could get mucky and contaminated. So I'll be cleaning that up with either an emery board or some fine memory paper. It's just a moulding. There's some. I'm not sure what it was. Maybe the mould isn't as good as you might expect. Anyway, take it to pieces. The bottom of the diverter, that spigot there goes into the urine collector. Not sure what that is yet. I'm going to have a look at see what this is. It may just be you can rinse out the inside of the thing through there. I don't know. There's nothing in the instruction or anything. But the bottom of the unit, you've just got the diverter and the hole for the poo to go through. And then there's the lower container. There's the lower container. Now, what they have done, cleverly or not, I don't know, is they provide storage at the back. And there's this area here where I will probably mount a fan, or there. Maybe not there actually, because that's where the clamps are, but probably this area here I'll mount a fan. And I'll also find some method of mounting brackets so I can actually secure this in the vehicle. But they provide a storage area for a lid for the solids box, and also the screw lid for the urine collector. You'll notice the screw lid has actually got a recess in it, and that aligns with the spigot on the urine diverter. So they've thought it through. The other thing I like is the bottle is actually a tray. So not only you've got urine capacity in there, you've actually got urine capacity in the area at the back as well. And then the solid bucket actually sits on it. There's a secure couple of spigots there that it mounts on. And the lid clips on nicely so that if you want to carry about to empty it, or if you want to actually seal the containers up in transport, it's fairly easy to do. What do I do with the lid? I'll put it in there. So the entire thing can be quite hygienic when you're on the move. We don't have any problems in WAS with the composting toilet we got in there. The bucket's quite deep for the solids. We never ever fill it more than about 50%. And the urine all goes out to a separate tank anyway. But I like the fact they've actually considered this, and they've given you the ability to actually cover the solids being over, and also cover over the urine tank when you're travelling if there's a risk of splashing. The other thing I like is the container itself is completely water. There's no holes in it, and therefore any accidents and mishaps are going to stay inside there. And the whole thing being portable, you can take it out, clean it, pressure wash it. It's a cool idea. I couldn't make this or something like it for less than I've paid for this. It's going to be a while now before we actually put this into active use, but I thought I'd just do an initial review of my feelings about it, having it literally just turned up yesterday. Oh, there's another bung thing there, and more dog hair. I should have a play now, find out what these bung things are for. But it doesn't go through, you see. It is actually because the plastic is hollow. So I wonder what that's for. Maybe these are blow moulded and you just needed some kind. In fact, they would have been, won't they? These would have been blow moulded. So obviously you need some way for the head again, and that's probably how it was done. But there you go. Only other thing to add is, according to the manufacturer specifications, this can accept, what's the correct term? A passenger? This can take the weight 200 kilograms, apparently. So that's your average human being easily catered for. I'm nowhere near 200 kilos, I can't imagine. I won't say any more. Right, so let's put the units back in. Pop the lid off. The bucket's not massive. That'll give us 3 or 4 days perhaps. We'll line it with a carrier bag. We can get maybe week and a half out of the much bigger bin in the other toilet, but this potentially, a few days, depending on whether we're using public toilets in between. But I like the idea that you can actually cover it over. And I like the idea they put a bit of thought into providing somewhere. Oops, going the wrong way. Providing somewhere to store the covers when you're not, when it's actually in active use. And the clamps, they've got relatively substantial screws on. Time will tell how they hold up, but there's not a huge amount of strain going on there, so I don't envisage them actually snapping or breaking. And there you go. Watch this space. It will be some time away, but probably by the time I get the van finished next year, I would have done a more in-depth review of actually using it in anger. Thanks for watching.